Imagine this. One of the most influential thinkers in human history writes a book so short that you could read it in a single sitting. That tiny book survives for more than 2,500 years. It influences emperors, warriors, monks, artists, and millions of ordinary people. Yet there is one astonishing mystery. We do not know for certain whether its author ever existed. No confirmed portrait, no verified eyewitness account, no unquestionable historical evidence. The man known as Lao Tzu may have been a real person, a legend, several people combined into one, or something in between. And that mystery is exactly where his story begins. The name Lao Tzu is not actually a personal name. It means old master or old teacher. Imagine if history remembered someone simply as the wise elder. That is essentially what happened. Because of this, historians face a fascinating problem. Was Lao Tzu a real individual, or was old master a title later generations used to describe a collection of ancient wisdom? No one knows for sure. Yet regardless of the answer, the ideas associated with Lao Tzu became some of the most powerful ideas humanity has ever encountered. To understand his story, we must travel back more than 25 centuries to ancient China. It was a time of political instability, social unrest, and constant power struggles. Kingdoms competed against one another. Corruption spread through governments. Wars erupted across the land. Many people felt that society was losing its balance. Interestingly, this same period produced some of China's greatest thinkers. Among them was Confucius. Confucius believed that society could be improved through education, moral responsibility, and proper behavior. Lao Tzu would take a very different path. Instead of asking how people could better control society, he asked a deeper question. What if the desire to control everything is the problem itself? According to tradition, Lao Tzu worked as an archivist in the royal court of the Zhou Dynasty. An archivist was far more than a librarian. He was a guardian of knowledge, a keeper of records, a protector of history itself. If these stories are true, Lao Tzu spent years surrounded by the accumulated wisdom of kings, scholars, generals, and philosophers. And perhaps he noticed a pattern. Every ruler believed he possessed the solution. Every government promised order. Every generation believed it could shape the future. Yet conflict continued to return, again and again and again. Perhaps this observation led him toward a remarkable conclusion. The harder people force things, the more resistance they create. One of the most famous stories about Lao Tzu involves a meeting with Confucius. According to legend, Confucius sought out the older philosopher in search of wisdom. The encounter left a lasting impression. Confucius emphasized rituals, traditions, and proper conduct. Lao Tzu reportedly challenged this way of thinking. He suggested that excessive concern with rules and appearances could distract people from genuine understanding. After the meeting, the legend says Confucius struggled to describe what he had experienced. Eventually, he compared Lao Tzu to a dragon. A bird flies, a fish swims, an animal runs. These can be understood, but a dragon rises into the clouds and disappears into the heavens. Its power is mysterious. Its nature is beyond ordinary understanding. Confucius supposedly said that Lao Tzu was like that dragon. Whether the meeting actually happened remains uncertain, but the story reveals how extraordinary later generations considered Lao Tzu's wisdom. As the years passed, Lao Tzu reportedly became increasingly disillusioned with society. He watched people chase wealth, status, power, recognition. The more civilization advanced, the more disconnected people seemed from inner peace. So he made a decision that would become legendary. He left. No political movement, no revolution, no attempt to seize authority. He simply turned away from society and traveled west toward the frontier. The image became one of the most iconic scenes in Chinese history. An old sage riding a water buffalo into the unknown, leaving behind a troubled world. Yet before disappearing forever, he would leave humanity one final gift. According to tradition, a border guard recognized him. The guard understood that a wise man was about to vanish from history. Before you leave, write down your teachings. Lao Tzu agreed. He stopped, and he began to write. The result was a remarkably short text. Only around 5,000 Chinese characters. No elaborate system, no lengthy arguments, no grand declarations. Just concise passages, filled with profound insight. That text became the Tao Te Ching, one of the most influential books ever written. After completing it, Lao Tzu continued his journey. And according to legend, he was never seen again. The central idea of Lao Tzu's philosophy is the Tao. The word is often translated as the way, but its meaning goes far deeper. The Tao is the underlying reality behind everything, the natural flow of existence, the invisible principle through which the universe operates. Lao Tzu believed that much of human suffering comes from resisting this flow. People cling, they force outcomes, they fight reality, they try to bend the world to their desires. Nature does not behave this way. Rivers do not struggle to flow downhill. Trees do not compete to become trees. The seasons do not argue with one another. Nature functions harmoniously because it follows its own path. Human beings often create chaos because they refuse to do the same. Perhaps Lao Tzu's most misunderstood idea is something called Wu Wei. It is commonly translated as non-action, but that translation can be misleading. Wu Wei does not mean doing nothing. It does not mean laziness. It means acting without unnecessary force. Think of a master musician completely absorbed in performance. A skilled athlete moving effortlessly. A martial artist responding instinctively. At their highest level, they are not forcing every action. They are flowing with the moment. This is Wu Wei. Lao Tzu believed that true effectiveness emerges when action becomes aligned with reality itself. The more we obsess over control, the more difficult life becomes. The more we move with the natural flow of events, the more powerful our actions become. Of all the symbols in nature, none fascinated Lao Tzu more than water. Water appears weak. You can touch it, push through it, step into it. Yet over time, water carves canyons through stone, shapes mountains, transforms entire landscapes. Water does not fight obstacles. It flows around them. It adapts. It yields. And because of that flexibility, it becomes extraordinarily powerful. For Lao Tzu, water represented the highest form of strength, not domination, not aggression, not force, but adaptability. Lao Tzu also loved paradoxes. He challenged assumptions that most people accepted without question. He taught that the soft can overcome the hard, the weak can overcome the strong, the humble can surpass the proud, the empty can become useful. The person obsessed with power often loses it. The person who does not seek power may naturally gain influence. At first glance, these ideas sound contradictory, yet they continue to resonate because they reflect patterns found throughout life. Rigid systems often break, flexible systems survive. Arrogance creates blindness. Humility creates learning. Force creates resistance. Balance creates harmony. Over the centuries, Lao Tzu's influence spread across East Asia and eventually throughout the world. His teachings shaped philosophy, religion, art, literature, leadership, martial arts, and personal development. Millions of people continue to find wisdom in his words. Yet one question remains. Did Lao Tzu actually exist? Some historians believe he was a real philosopher. Others argue that the Tao Te Ching may have been written by multiple authors over time. The truth remains uncertain, and perhaps that uncertainty is strangely appropriate. Because Lao Tzu consistently encouraged people to look beyond names, labels, and appearances, to focus instead on understanding reality itself. Most great figures in history sought recognition. Kings built monuments, generals pursued glory, politicians chased power, writers desired fame. Lao Tzu taught the opposite. Let go. Stop forcing. Stop chasing. Stop trying to dominate everything. And the greatest irony of all may be this. The man who taught humanity not to seek greatness became one of the greatest philosophers who ever lived. Or perhaps, one of the greatest philosophers who never lived. Either way, more than 2,500 years later, the old master continues to offer the same timeless challenge. The universe is already moving. The question is not whether you can control it. The question is whether you can learn to move with it.